What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good God, can you believe that I almost said that it was Wednesday when it's actually Thursday? I would believe that, considering I'm probably still living in the land of the dead right now. I'm still recuperating from this massive virus, which now seems to have spread to other extremities in my body. So I'm extremely excited that if I need to do a show today, it's with someone that I admire and that I respect. And most of all, he's very funny. And he, believe it or not, cheers me up more than he thinks by the pictures and the posts that he has on Facebook. So right before we start our interview with Thomas, I want to remind everybody tomorrow that there was a little shift on the show change. Jana Behrens with Behrens Psychiatric Services is unable to do the show. Actually, she's quite ill herself. So she got the opportunity to cancel. I, however, cannot. So therefore, I have an absolutely wonderful surprise for you. Well, it's not a surprise if you're on Facebook. I'm going to be interviewing Jack O'Halloran. To most of you, you might recognize him from Superman 1 and Superman 2. He was Gnome, the big, huge, super-than-life guy. But what you may not necessarily know is that he's done work with Robert Mitchum. He's been in King Kong with Jessica Lange. He also wrote himself a wonderful book called Family Legacy, which he's turning into a movie. So he's a screen icon to me. So I'm extremely excited to be able to host him. And that's going to be 1 o'clock Central Standard Time tomorrow here. And it's also my last show this week. Yay! So if I die from this virus, after 1 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be all good. So without further ado, since Thomas has waited way too long, let's get him on the show and start talking to him. Hi, were you listening to me babble? Hello?
Hola.
I knew you were going to do that.
Hola. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm very nervous. I'm extremely nervous. I'm talking to a very important man today. Because you're a big deal. It's true.
Where am I a big deal? Where and how and who?
During the course of this interview, you're going to find out that's who. Literally, because I told you I went behind your back, so I know these things about you. That's my job, dude. Seriously.
Where have you been all my life?
Okay. Well, you have a fiance, so you didn't. I've been standing in the sidelines, and then you met Jenny, and all is good, and there's bliss and happiness, and you'll be on SNL next year, and I'll just wave, and I'll be like, yeah, I used to know him when I was little, and now he's big, and he forgot me, and here we are.
I love you. I love you.
What can I say? So how was set life? Were you on set today?
Oh, no, I was on set last night. It was just,
right.
I don't know if you know Charlize Theron.
Yes, I do. I don't know her, but in my dreams I know her. But go ahead.
Yeah, I had a small feature scene, that's all. Was it like,
oh, nice.
Too much of a big deal. Yeah, so that was kind of exciting.
So exciting, though. Yes,
week,
way exciting. That is way cool. Oh, my God, listen to this. This is so exciting. I have so many questions to ask you. The most important one, though, this is really important. I'm going to save myself the embarrassment, so you're going to pronounce your last name, because I'm wondering either he's Italian, and it sounds really thick Italian, or I'm just stupid and I can't pronounce 4 words, 5 letters. 5 letters.
Yeah, well, it's pronounced Occhi Grasso. It's an old Italian name.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, it's I don't know. I've heard a lot of different pronunciations from it. Like, you know, one woman asked me if I was from China, and I almost started to laugh. I was gonna say, oh yeah, I'm from China. You know.
Oh my God.
No, I don't want to be from China. I got a nose 1.5 miles long. But you know. Anyway. So yeah.
Some of us don't know what you look like. Remember, our listening audience this might be their first introduction to you. Okay? So you got to help them out a little bit. So you're of Italian descent, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My mother's an Irish radical, how do you say, Catholic. My father's Italian. So a little bit of both.
Got it.
In the family.
So basically you're a tough guy who drinks, if I'm going to get that right, if you're nationality specific.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to jump around all over because there's lots that I know about you. So I want to kind of start off with talking about something that most people probably don't know, because a lot of people that listen to my show are either up-and-coming actors or actresses or want to get into the business. Now, one component that I know that you do is similar to our friend Donna McKenna, which is casting director. And I haven't had her on the show yet, so I want to pick your brain a little bit, and I want you to tell my listening audience. Obviously, casting director is a generalized term, and we all get that it means obviously casting director does casting. But why don't you tell us a little bit about the process when you were casting, obviously, because I know you did the casting on the beat. When you do casting, tell me the 3 things that you look for in an actor or someone that you're going to want to cast. So that this way, if people are out there auditioning, they know what they need to be doing.
Oh, it's a great question. Well, I guess I can keep it simple. Like the one role, like the detective role, was kind of an offbeat, kind of edgy detective role. So, obviously, my first thought was to look at somebody who's kind of a little bit offbeat, kind of edgy, has something going on. Is not so shy. That makes sense. It's the first thing I've ever casted. So for me, it was really like, I don't want to say it's through friends, but like just a certain face, a certain look. Like some people just have a good look about them, whether it be they're confident or whether it be like you can just have to envision the filming going on, envision the scene that you're going to be in with somebody, and you have to picture, is this going to work with that face, that height? Like I say, big nose, small nose, big guy, small guy, it all has to make sense in that particular moment. And be like, it has to be, does that make sense? Like it has to be like believable.
I kind of get what you mean. Like for instance, let's say it's you and you're going up to a casting director and let's say that they're casting you something that's really what I would call anti-Thomas, for instance. Like, the mindset and the mentality and the personality of who you are. They're asking you to play something different. If you want to be convincing to that casting director, tell me something that you would do to get their attention that they haven't seen or something that will draw out an interest.
For me, I've learned, and I made this mistake numerous times in the beginning, is they say overacting, trying to do too much. So in the beginning, I tried to do that. I said, okay, well, let me overplay the character. Maybe they're looking for somebody kind of like, I'll say, perfect example, like a politician. So, I went on a pretty good audition. I wasn't the best, but I overplayed it. I was too much of a politician. So the whole trick for me is to be myself, bring myself to the character. Because it's more real if I'm bringing myself. Does that make sense? Like I'm not overthinking.
Yeah.
Less is more. Less is more, for so to speak.
Right,
and,
that mentality I totally agree with.
I just find that works because I'm not overthinking. I'm not trying too much. Like it has to be believable. I feel like and I hate to be negative, but I feel like a lot of the films that are coming out today, a lot of the stuff is so overproduced. It's so clean. The acting is like persistently I hate to use the word robotic, but it's just like it's like robots are just saying the words and there's no feeling. It's like some of the music and the heart and soul has to be in it. Like the pain, I want to put myself in that. But like what I want to say, if I was in that situation in my life, what would I say? How would I feel? What would my body be doing? What would my face be doing? Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, it does actually, and it brought to mind another question because obviously when you're someone who has not done casting before or things like that, or like somebody who's listening in, like for instance. I'm about to cast.
I have no serious casting. I'm just so
really.
I have to make that clear. Like I have no. On the Beat was just something I casted. A friend needed help casting, but really, like I don't have the vision that they have. I'm just so
I got you.
I have to make that clear.
Okay. Well, this is fine because this is an actor question. And I know that you can address this obviously, because and I talk about this a lot and different. For those of you that don't know, I've watched your reel before. Now, for instance, what I think is neat about you, this is so funny because the first thing on your reel is the Psycho at LaGuardia. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, holy hell, he creeped the hell out of me. You know what I mean? And I know you, but I'm like, do you have that ability to do that? And then you've got this woman yelling at you like, where did all this money go? You had 6 figures. Where did all this money go? And I'm watching this. Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, diversity is important. So here's the question. As an actor, what do you need to bring to the table with you mentally and physically to be that diverse? How do you flip-flop? Do you know what I mean? Like one day let's say, for instance, you're playing this character one day and the next day. What do you got to bring with you, head and heart-wise, to get into character and then jump back out again? Because I'm sure you don't go home and scare the hell out of Jenny. Or do you? Well, you might. But
I mean
you know what I'm saying.
It sounds crazy, but I just have to bring myself, my hyperactivity and all the crap I've been through. I mean, really, I know that sounds like really like a warped answer, but like I eat a ton of ice cream. I'm over caffeinated all the time, and I have a ton of energy. So for me, it's really easy to go from the Wall Street guy to the corrupt detective to like the psycho. It's I'm not saying I'm natural, but I can pretty much do it instantaneously. It just I just switch it on.
Oh, no, I understand. Now, so that our listeners get an understanding, when did you actually commence taking on your first role? So when you first started acting was in what year?
Okay, it was, so what year is this? It's 2013. It was a short film, it was a great film called For the Moment, Rhonda Swindell. It's a great writer and director. She basically, I have some tattoos, so she's like, it's a music film, you'd be playing a drummer in a band, which is great for me because, I spent 20 years as a drummer, so for me it was pretty much an easy role. The thing that got me was I'd never said lines before, so I had to say some lines, and, once I got through that part of it, it was so free. It was so amazing to be part of that, your first film. It's just, and it was a fun film.
Oh, I imagine.
Life of a band. And basically, long story short, it was just one of those typical stories about like the lead singer's kind of like hitting a dark path, the band's getting some success, but the lead singer's kind of like, out drinking too much, and so the band kind of have this kind of intervention before they go on this big tour. So,
got it. Now, the reason I brought that up is because between that time frame, either before or during or even now, I know that you have gone to HB Studios in New York City, of course, relative to acting. So I just want you to give an introspect because yesterday's guest, Kelly Kay, that was on, obviously, he started late in the game. He hasn't had a lot of formal training. I want to know if that formal training that you took, has that taught you certain skills or lessons that you bring to the set with you, or has it just been more improv / real life for you?
That's great. That's a great question, Steve. It's been a little bit of both. HP is a great school. What they did for me really is acting one class. It kind of like it took off some of the layers because as some actors, speak for myself, there is some kind of like, I want to say like insecurity there. There is some kind of like a little bit of a holding back. So for me as an actor, I want to feel those. I want to be totally comfortable with myself the way I am. So acting one kind of like it took off some of those layers, some of that fear, some of that stuff that that made me like uncomfortable. It was great lesson for me. So,
got it. Now, being where you are now, do you think it might behoove you, or will you go on and pursue taking acting courses or being taught by, let's say, one of our mutual friends, like John Gallagher, for instance? He's the director in New York City. He mentors actors all the time. Would you consider doing something like that, or are you just too busy now, or do you think you're pretty well settled and you don't need furthering education?
No, I've heard, I can mention her name, Deborah Markowitz, a great writer-director. She is
good friend of
keen
mine.
on training. She is keen on it, and I agree 100% with her. You never stop learning. You never know too much. Like I've always learned, I love the term remain teachable. Like I said, I've only been acting for under 4 years. So right now it's a little bit slow. I've got a couple projects, so I'm actually looking for some comedy. I'm going to go to a comedy school in Manhattan, and I'm also going to take some more classes at Stella Adler just to further my training. It's a beautiful industry, and I just want to learn. I want to learn as much as I can.
Of course. Now, Thomas brings two things to the table. The first of which I want to talk about is, if you've never seen him before, he's got like one tattoo or two, or how many to be exact? I don't want to misquote, because we all know you have more than two. So do you even know how many you have?
17 or 18 right now, but I'm stopping.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, perfect question for you. I want to know, sometimes tattoos can be a wonderful thing for a person personally, and then you walk into a room to try to get cast for something. Is it a challenge? I mean, is it something that people have to think about if they want to be a serious actor? Because sometimes, you got to take your shirt off, you have to be naked, whatever. Is it a deficit for you at all?
Great question. It is for the most part. I have to wear longs because most casting directors, unless they're casting for a particular project, do not want tattoos because obviously it takes all the focus off. I was in a great film which was perfect. It was a punk film called Hey Stupid. It was a short film, and it was perfect for me. So the guy wanted raw and so like any of the major networks, Blue Bloods, Gotham, those shows are not they kind of frown upon it. You know, they don't want tattoos. So my thing was, Cindy, I don't know if you know, but I was a drummer for 20 plus years. So my tattoos I accumulated over just the music career. Acting was always something I've always wanted to do, but I was so consumed with music at the time. So these tattoos have like a certain period in time in my life. Like each kind of one, resembles a certain whatever was going on at the time. So, it is what it is. It's.
No, I understand completely, definitely. But, sometimes, unfortunately, like it or not, in this industry, you have to look a certain way, you have to have hair a certain way, you have to act and be a certain thing for them to get casting. Same thing on the other side of the fence. To those of you who, of course, have limited knowledge to him, and I don't, I already know, and I can tell you, as I said in the intro, he makes me laugh more times than he knows because he's posting up pictures and he's saying funny things, and you have a sensational sense of humor. However, my question is twofold because I know that I'm sure Jim Carrey gets asked this all the time too. Can you turn it on and off? Because I can't picture you not being funny. It's hard for me to try to picture the drama faucet turning on and then it turning off.
What do they do? Oh,
you know what I mean?
Not you. Oh my God. No.
But you know what I'm saying? Because you're like, ha, funny. I mean, constantly. I can turn it on. I love Jack Nicholson, one of my favorite actors in the world. I love early. I grew up on early Jack Nicholson. I grew up on early De Niro. So for me, dramatic acting is always going to be number one. But comedy is something that comes natural. Like, I don't have to think about it. Like I don't. Right.
Like it's natural. It's part of me. And also, I've been through some rough times in my life. So it's kind of like comedy was kind of therapy for me. It wasn't for everybody else. It's mostly for me.
Right. I can understand.
Here's the thing. Here's my concern. And I've heard this before. I've heard, you should stop posting comedy stuff and stop posting. People won't take you serious as an actor. But it's like, then again, I'm just trying to be me, Cindy. Like I see a lot of people. Right. They get a couple films, they get a little success, they totally change. And I don't want that to ever happen to me. I'm just being who I am. Maybe in the moment, it is kind of crazy. They got like maxi pads. I'm in the store, C-Town. I'm taking pictures of maxi pad with a crazy look. To me, that's just being me being me. I mean, does it offend people? I don't know.
No, you're not offensive. I've never heard that. But no, don't ever change who you don't.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that there's a concern that maybe, a casting director would say, oh, wow, we're looking for serious actors. I don't know if this guy is going to be serious or not because look at all the crazy pictures, his hair is up, and he's grabbing his butt. So it's, I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. However, I'm of the firm belief, and I'm sure that most of the people that listen to my show would agree with this because I've heard all sorts of different feedback from people when it comes to actors. Actors do, and believe it or not, even in the 2016 society, I think Hollywood kind of throws it at us and says we expect our actors or personalities or public figures. It's like you're not human. You're always this whatever. And it's like, no, I think the fact that you show that you're human is wonderful. I think that you're real is wonderful. Literally, you being real is you. You know what I mean? You're not in acting mode 24/7. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can act 24/7. Although you do a pretty good job. You're on Highwire all the time. But you know what I mean? It's important to keep the reality of you, of course, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I'm going to flip gears a little bit. I know you live in Queens, and that's the only borough I've never been in. So tell me about Queens a little bit, because tell me why I should go there, because I hear the Bronx is scary. I haven't been there either, and I'm afraid. So let's talk about the Queens area. Is it any better?
I used to live in California. We live in a beautiful town now called Malvern. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's with actually Tony Danza was from Malvern, so I just found it out.
Nice.
Kind of cool.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you where it is. I know. It's beautiful. It's Nassau County, but we're about 10 minutes from Queens.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so you're relatively close. Is there anything really cool to check out there? Anything I'm missing?
No, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I mean, no offense to Malvern. No. It's a pretty town. It's a corporated village. It's got the train station right here. You know what's amazing? This is a God-given gift, dude. There's an ice cream store right next to my house. Like, how sick is that? So I have to come down the stairs. Feet to the left, there's an ice cream shop. Like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but so for me, that's the best thing in Malvern so far. Well, we've only been here for 3 weeks, and maybe we'll discover more, but we've only been here for 3 weeks. So far, that's the best thing it's had that, the Malvern has to offer.
No, I get it, actually. So we need to talk about this because I notice this all the time. He is posting pictures of himself eating ice cream or getting ice cream or holding a bowl of ice cream. What the hell is the deal with the ice cream? Are you just an ice cream freak or are you just that, like...
My weight
What's
is
the deal?
fluctuated. I've gained like 16 pounds in the last month and a half. So again, it's me like it's not a dog period. Like, oh my God, I've gained 16 pounds. Like I want to jump off the top of the building. But to me, it's a little bit dark period. So I took it in a comedy way. Okay, well, hey, the reason why you're gaining weight, stupid, is because you're eating half a gallon of ice cream a night. That might be the reason why you're you got 3 ass cheeks. But I'm just saying. So I just made it a positive thing, and made people laugh while I'm gaining weight, walking around with this big gut.
It's cute. It's very cute. Yes, it does. And I can't believe you just said the word ass on radio. Wow.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
Okay.
No,
We're and then he just said shit
it.
too. That's okay. We're on
appreciate
internet
it.
radio. We're just trying to keep it professional. That's okay. I swear all the time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Next question. Now, I am of the firm belief that the man that I am talking to, just like any other actor or any other person, is always a culmination of the inspirations and the life and the love that he leads. So I want to believe there are 3 reasons that you are inspired or motivated. So I'd like to talk about the first 2. You have made references to both your cousin as well as your father, your cousin Lori, and of course your father, who you credit for allowing your creativity to blossom. So I want you to tell our audience a little bit about both and what sort of inspirational impact they've left on you.
Well, my father's always been really supportive of me no matter what, through music and everything. He has a really great sense of humor, but the thing about him, he doesn't try very hard. Like, he'll just say, like, one sentence, and it's just really funny the way he says it. His expressions are always funny. He's always kind of making faces at my mother.
Right.
And so I think I got that from him. He just wanted me to be happy. Just do what you want to do. But also, you also said very important is you have to support yourself. So
right.
It's a little bit of both. I got some discipline from him from that. My cousin Lori is amazing. She's very talented. She does clothing. She does fashion. She's very funny too.
Very pretty.
Thank you very much. She's very pretty. She is very spiritual, always positive. She's got a great belief in, God. And so her and I kind of support each other because we know how tough the industry is. And being like, we're kind of like the black sheep of the family. Most of the family has like, I hate to say doing real jobs, but they have a kind of like everyday jobs, like a city job, state jobs. We're kind of like the black sheep, we're chasing this dream of ours, but we're not really holding a steady job. So from Lori, I just get inspiration. I get like faith. If you turn it over, if you believe in something, and you're being true to yourself, that's all you can do. And just have some faith that you're on the path you're supposed to be on. That makes sense.
I would agree. Oh, without a doubt, definitely. And since you were talking about jobs, now one given point in time, correct me if I'm mistaken, you used to drive people around, right? You were like a professional driver, or you're hired professionally to be driving?
Wow, yes. I still do that, Tim.
You do? Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. I want to talk about the fact that you met Isabella Rossellini, and I'm so jealous, and I hate you now. Oh, my God. Tell me about that.
She must have thought I was like the biggest dweeb because I got lost coming out of a driveway. Her house was so huge. I went down the wrong driveway. She's like, "Oh no, you gotta back up. I was like, okay. No, she's really. The thing is, like, you have to be really professional with these people. Like, they don't want to be bothered. So, I mean, I did kind of throw in the fact, hey, I'm a SAG actor, kind of like in a cool way, but it's like, oh, very good, And then she's like, oh, blah blah blah. She picked up my phone, so.
And she's foreign, right? Like she's Italian, right? Yeah, she's Italian
actress, amazing actress.
Yeah.
She does a lot of fashion. She does a lot of charity work. She does a ton of fundraising. She's just a really, really amazing person. So she was at a fundraiser that night, particular night that I, picked her up.
That is so cool. And you know who else you've met? OMG. Pretty Woman ring a bell? And that Richard Gere man. I'm pretty sure you met him too and or worked with him, yes?
What a great guy. What a great guy. What a humble, you talk about a humble spiritual guy, like a real dude. He's a real dude and he's a great actor. He admired my tattoos. He's kind of cool. Like, oh my God. Like, he's like, man, you got some really good ink. And he kind of pulled me out of the line. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I felt good. Like I said, but just the fact that, oh my God, he talked to me. Richard Gere talked to me. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
It wasn't one of those moments, but it was cool.
And he's kind of good looking. Oh, wait, you wouldn't recognize. Never mind. That was me going into my own little fantasy there. He's not a bad-looking actor. Let me just say, the guy's hot.
I'll tell Jenny, I think
How
he's
funny.
very good.
Now, speaking of inspiration and/or things that move you and/or inspire you, we would not have a full interview, or at least finish this interview at some given point in time, but let's talk about it now. You are engaged to Jenny. So this is your public forum to be able to tell everybody a little bit about your betrothed, the woman you're going to marry, how you met her. We always like the romance on this show. Tell us how you met her, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, obviously, I think it's most important to say this. Every actor that I've ever met.
Jenny. No, because you said the married word. What's up with that? No.
I would like you to explain to our audience what it is about her when you leave your house and you go off and you act and you do whatever. Is there just something in particular, some part of that relationship that makes you a better actor? Because I'm sure there is.
I mean, Jenny's I mean, I can't say enough about this woman. I mean, the fact that she puts up with my crap. I mean, I'm high maintenance. I'm a high maintenance energy bunny, but I'm like a warped energy bunny. I'm not the happy one that goes around hitting the cymbal. I'm like a warped energizer bunny. So for her to put up with me is it takes a miracle. She has patience of a saint, and the great thing about her, she finds beauty in everything. Like I remember there was one moment her and I were walking in the city, and she was admiring all the artwork and the lights. I mean, it took us like an hour to walk down one block. We kept stopping at every little thing and noticing every little thing. I was like, all right, come on,
sure.
Let's get some coffee, damn it. It's just, but that's the same. But that's where it kind of balances out, because she kind of slows me down and gets me to look at the beauty, the beauty in life. And that's, I know it sounds kind of cheesy in a way, but I sound like myself. We're always kind of racing. You don't always see what's around you.
Right.
That being said, she's not corrupt. I mean, she's got no drama. I mean, all the relationships I ever had were just so high drama. They were just, I don't know. I hate to use the word misfits because I'm a misfit, but they were just misfits. She's got she sings and teaches children. She loves animals and dogs. It's like, dude, sometimes I have to pinch myself.
Well, and she's non-industry, of course, so I often like to ask this question. Some people purposely date someone that's non-industry because it's much easier for that. And how does she take to this? Because I've seen you guys together in all sorts of different events and premieres and things like that. Is she settled in? I mean, is she comfortable with this? Is this something that she can do?
It's a great question. As you know, Cindy, she's from Peru, so she's only been in America for just under a year. So,
right.
And she learned of America through TV and film, and it's really, really kind of interesting. So when she first got here, her perception of America and New Yorkers were kind of like, violent, there's some robberies and kind of angry, kind of like, which, I mean, she's 90% right. It's 90% like that sometimes, but her perception of it was kind of like warped, So when she got here, the whole, film and TV industry is different, because in Peru, they're much more conservative. You don't see as much physical contact. You don't see as much nudity, sex, that kind of stuff you don't see in public. So, she's really supportive to a certain point, but then again, I have to remember that, that it's going to take her more time to kind of, adapt. It's still, like, when we go to a party and there's all these models and they're really dressed nice, and, some of them are wearing these beautiful outfits and they're showing their body, she gets a little affected by that. She's just because she's not used to seeing it.
Right. Okay. So that takes a little bit.
That's why I come in.
It does.
I have to be on my best behavior. I got to be. Obviously, I have to carry myself with some kind of respect. But sometimes it's hard because you want to take pictures and you want to get involved with everybody and you want to hug and kiss and it's I don't know. It's she has a hard time.
I get it.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense? Because she just doesn't understand.
Well, and I think it takes time too, because I'm still, I go into all various different film festivals, and it's different. People are different. You go to LA, it's one way. You go to New York, it's one way. You go to Chicago, it's one way. People are different. Films are different, and you know what that's like. You get around celebrities, you meet those people. It's different. I mean, if you're not used to it, it takes much. Whether you're from Peru or whether you're from Milwaukee or wherever, it takes a lot. But kudos to you guys, and I will say this very publicly. they're very beautiful together. I've seen them in different pictures, and what I like most about them is that they not only complement each other very well, but I don't think they realize how they're looking at one another sometimes. I, as an outside observer, and I've heard this before, we can catch those little glimpses and those little moments of little tiny adorable affection that you may not even know is existing. So kudos, because you don't find that. Most of us don't find that, or if you do, it takes quite a while to do so. So you're very lucky, so congratulations on that. And I mean that.
Thank you so much. Very sweet. Very sweet. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Now, on to the next business of, apparently you like to dress like Alibaba. Oh, my God. You have to talk to these people about these things that you dress up at. He puts on these different little things, or I don't know if you Photoshop those. How do you make yourself look the way you do? Because I'm like, the gestures are his face, but the other stuff, I got to know.
The Alibaba was a SAG film I was on. I was playing like a Richard Price character. So that was a short film that I was on. I can't say the name right yet, but that's coming out. That's a short SAG film. So that was their outfit. Other than that, I just like to be creative. I mean, sometimes you have to just take risks, and that's what that acting one taught me. It's just to take risks. Put on some different clothes. Do your hair different. Different, expressions of your face, and just to take risks, and it's fun.
Oh, of course it is, and not to mention the fact sometimes, I guess I got to ask you this question because for some odd reason it popped into my head. I so could see you doing drag if you haven't already. Would you consider the idea of a drag role, or have you thought about that?
Oh my God, jeez, you're getting personal now. Wow. Of course. I mean, I'm very open to drag. I mean, it's oh my God, wow, okay.
Just throwing it out there.
I just got to check if Jenny's around. Hold on a second.
Okay.
No, it's closer to yeah. I mean, I would be down to do it. I mean, Jenny would probably kill me, but I'd be totally down.
No, and I understand that. Sometimes you kind of have to go out of your comfort zone a little bit, and you seem very well-rounded in terms of wanting to try this or that. So I have to ask you, in terms of developing your character or your charisma or your professionalism, do you mirror anyone, anybody famous, any actors that have left some sort of formidable impression on you that you want to try to mirror when you're in front of the camera?
You know what? I love John Ritter, Three's Company. Oh, my God.
Really?
Growing up, he was probably one of the biggest comedic influences in my life. Robert Williams is of course, always going to be, an influence on my life. John Ritter and was kind of like early on was kind of what kind of emulate because he's a brilliant physical comedian, and he just his facial expression and his physical. I love physical comedy. I love to move around a lot.
I guess.
I also go for Jackie Gleason. The Odd Couple, like those kind of shows, just for me were groundbreaking.
Got it. Now, next question for you, and this one is an important question. I noticed in your repertoire, one of the things that I saw in here was, and I just want to clarify because I think that you had done work on the Kevin Can Wait series, or am I mistaken on that?
Oh yes, I did. I mean, I'm very grateful, but it was a background role. It wasn't a speaking role, but it was featured background role on that show. Yes.
I gotcha. Now, has that aired as of yet, or is that coming on the air?
I'm sorry. So what was that, Cindy?
No, that's okay, because sometimes people will go in and they'll film something or they'll do something and it doesn't air as of yet. So has your episode aired as of yet? Because I know that show's on now. Kevin Can Wait is on now, correct? But I didn't know if your episode had actually been shown yet.
Yes, it was the second episode, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Got it.
4 weeks ago.
Got it. We all want to make notation of that so this way we can tune in and take a look and see what's going on with that. Okay, now because you've mentioned it, you used to be a drummer. As far as 20 years of your life is a significant amount of time being a musician. I had 2 children with a drummer, so I know all full well the skills and techniques involved with being a drummer. So my question to you is this. Musicians are one thing, actors are one thing, etc. So talk to me a little bit about prioritization, meaning do you miss making music? Do you still make music? And is there still part of you that would prefer to just be that musician and say, hey, let's put acting on the shelf for a while, or are you becoming more hardcore actor?
That's great. Really, I've become in the last 3 years a hardcore actor. I've tapped into something I've wanted to do for many, many years. Music at the time, was like 13 when I started playing drums. I was just a really angry kid with a lot of energy. So the drums was automatically the release, the physical release I needed. And I love the sound of a drum. Like I love hitting drums. It's just a great. So I can get my body moving, the limbs going, and for me, I would feel great afterwards. So for me, it was like I was addicted to drums right away. Played in a lot of bands, different rock bands early on. It was a great experience for me because I got to play live and got to tour a little bit. But somewhere along the line, the music industry changed. I don't want to get too deep into what happened, but somewhere along, the technical field took over, and some of the music, like I said, is just too overly produced. And you kind of lose that. You lose the edge for the music a little bit because you feel like you're kind of spinning your wheels, trying to get your product out there, and in a world that's changing to mostly technical fields. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Cindy?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying. I do, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I know I talk to actors that actually do musician stuff on the side or they whatever have you, and they have a hard time juggling that. And that's another question, which is, would you even have time to entertain? Like if somebody came to you now and said, I want you to drum for a gig or I want you to do some music for a soundtrack or whatever, would you still entertain something like that now? Or
of course.
Don't see that
of course. I think about music every single day. It's not, I love music. I actually got to do one of the, another short film called Inconvenient Ruth. It's just a short comedy. I did all the drum work for that film, so all the percussion work. So that was great to do. That was my first soundtrack. Nice. So it was awesome. Last night, it's funny because one of the holding areas it was in a bar. It was in a bar in Williamsburg, and there was a drum set up, and I'm sitting on the stage, waiting for to go on set, and it's just, I looked at the stage and I looked at the people in the bar and the music, and it's just, I definitely miss playing live. I would definitely, look for a live situation. But acting is really, wow, Cindy, what a passion, man. I love it. I love what I'm doing now. So maybe it's me. It's just timing my life. The timing of my life right now is acting seems to be where I need to put my energy.
Right, and understandably so, because folks, if you have an opportunity to check out his reel or take a look at it, it's impressive. The diversity, like I said, plus you take it on 150%, which is cool. Now, I want to look on the film side of things and talk about a few things that I have highlighted here. Before the Moment was your very first film. You did something called Idiomatic. Did I say that right? And I'm like,
yes.
I just have to ask about that because I'm like, who the hell would do a project like Idiomatic? I'm like, what is that all about? Help me out here. What's the premise of that intellectual film, and how'd you get involved in that one?
That is by a great, amazing writer, Paula Blum. Paula, I love you wherever you are. She's an amazing, talented writer. That's about millennials, but it's kind of funny because if you listen to it, it's how they talk. So she wrote the thing about millennials if they don't talk like professional people. So meanwhile, meaning we're in this office and we're talking with slang, I'm talking to hitting on one girl and I'm saying, hey, yo, represent, I'm saying these funny words and we're all in these suits, so it's kind of a funny conversation that we're having with each other, totally off the wall.
Interesting. Okay, because I thought to myself, that just sounded totally silly. And of course, there's Revenge Kills. Now, that's something. Great. Is that available to be seen somewhere, whether it's online or otherwise? And how'd you get involved in that?
I think it's it's another short project that was pitched for Lifetime's channel. So it's kind of right now it's just a short that we filmed it as a short to kind of pitch it as an idea. It's going to be, I think it's going to be playing in some festivals in January just to see how it goes.
Nice.
But that was that was a really, really fun. And that's for me is a perfect role for me. Just kind of like angry, kind of like angst and it's energy, and it's a really great dramatic role, which I love.
Well, and on the flip side of the fence, you're always lucky when you're able to do the combination, which is, of course, both film and television. On the flip side of the fence, you were on The Fever, which is television, of course. I want you just to address to your listening audience, do you prefer, just as an actor, some people go on set for TV and they're sitting there and, they're waiting 15 hours just to get on set to be able to finally get on there, do their thing for 5 minutes and go. Whereas film is structured differently, films differently, etc. So just two questions. Do you prefer to do TV versus a film scenario? And then second of all, is there any good benefit to doing television? Because, of course, television is a much shorter project, I would assume, than doing something like film.
That's a great question. I actually like both. The films kind of give you more of a freedom, more of an expression, a freedom. There's more opportunity to kind of improvise and expand. As for like the TV's kind of a little bit, it's pretty much set, a certain way of what they want. But really, I've done both, and I honestly can say I really like both, and
really?
I benefit from both. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I were a betting woman, and I'm just going to throw this out here because you have a little more versed education about this because you're an actor, the trend in TV now, as we all know, is it's not just network TV anymore. You can turn on your internet and you can watch Sling TV, you can watch Hulu TV, etc. Do you think that we're becoming inundated, if you will, with a little too many TV platforms? I mean, with independent film, it works really well because if you can't get a big budget film, you do an independent film, fine. But nowadays, I'm noticing everybody's got a TV idea. We all have the greatest, the latest pitch, the next idea. Are we becoming inundated, or do you think the new TV programming is fresh and interesting still, and maybe we need to keep coming with the ideas and such?
I think you're right, Jay. I think it's a little bit of both. I think I love the opportunities that it is going to open up some more doors. But then again, like it's, the flip side is okay. Is it? The idea is still fresh? Is it overproduced, or they just things just coming out just to come out? So it's a little bit of both. I like the idea that there's new networks. So for actors who are looking to work, there are some more avenues. There are some more wider avenues that opened up. Right. Like I said, it's a little bit of both. But really, I just kind of look for the quality in it. Like just, the heart of the story, the heart of the character. I look for not so much, $100 million budget.
I see. Now, if I were to ask you this question, and this is an interesting one because I can relate, and I think you can because I've been waiting a while to ask you this. It's been said, and I've even posted this on my wall, that some of the most creative people literally are a byproduct of the chaos that they have lived through or survived through or tragically have lost a great deal from. Would you classify yourself as one of those iconic, I call them iconic chaotic creatives, if you will, meaning that the reason why you believe in part that you're so creative is because you come from that chaotic sort of thing. Make sense?
Yeah. I could be the poster boy, without being like, too much of an egomaniac. I could be the poster boy for dark and dark, creative, being. But no, yeah, like I said, I have gone through some rough stuff in my life, early on, and to me, I wanted to channel that energy in a positive way because there were times when I wasn't. I saw myself going down some wrong roads, and I was channeling in a negative way. So, for me, the creative part is like it saved my life. It gives me that avenue. It gives me that kind of safe exit to express myself, without like hurting anybody or hurting myself.
Right. Well, yes, that's a great way to do that actually, and a bunch of us do that, and that's awesome. So now I have to ask, in terms of modeling, because you've done that before. So here's the question. Now, nowadays, and to those, I just want to give an introspect to the people that don't know you. I've posted a picture up of him. He's not, he's definitely not an unattractive person. And obviously we know nowadays that actors come in all shapes and sizes. You have been blessed. So now, the question, in terms of modeling, I almost can't picture you doing it because I can picture you making fun of models instead of being one. Would that be a good assessment? Seriously.
I'm hanging up, man. Unbelievable. I can't believe this.
You are so not hanging out. You're so not hanging
out. No. If you look at my comedy page, I put actor, comedian, bad model. So I know I'm a bad model. Yeah. There's no. Everybody knows it. You know it. I know it. Jenny knows it. Jenny's happy that I'm a bad model. Everybody,
No, that's not true. When you're in a suit, you look really nice. You do clean up nice.
I did this catwalk one time, man, and it was so. It was funny because I wanted to do it. I was trying. So this guy had me like walk down this catwalk. I kept looking at my butt. I was turning around. I don't know why I kept looking at my butt. And, I was looking at my feet, my butt. I'm kind of like I had this goofy look on my face, like I had diarrhea. But I don't know. It wasn't very comfortable. But yet I also did a print shop, for a cologne commercial where I was in a really nice suit and I'm holding a bottle of cologne and it's a beautiful scenery background. So that's a different type of modeling. I don't think I'm made for catwalk stuff.
Well, still, nonetheless, he does clean up nicely, folks. When you go look at his IMDb, you'll see what I'm talking about because he's got that nice snazzy little look on there and all that good stuff. And you do clean up nicely. You just don't want to admit it. Now, before I talk about your upcoming projects, I do not want to forget to ask this one other question. It's actually two questions. I lied. I'm sorry. One of which is, have you ever been offered a role that you had to turn down or thought yourself wasn't right for you? Has that ever happened yet?
Well, I mean, it was one role. I don't say it was turned down, but it just didn't really fit my, profile. There was a young director. He wanted me to play a kind of a gay, like a gay brother of somebody, but I just didn't feel like the role at the time was appropriate. Like I wasn't feeling, the character. So, like for me to just say, I'm gonna, do the role just to do it. It's just, no. Like I said, you have to be true to yourself. I didn't feel very confident about myself, and I didn't know too much about the character. But he said you have a good look, and when I read the script, I'm like, it's good. I'm just not feeling. I wasn't feeling the energy of the one guy. So I had to respectfully, and that was the first one, respectfully decline. But like I said, obviously as actors, we don't want to turn down anything, but it comes a point where you have to pick and choose. Like, are you being true to yourself? Are you being true to them? Are they going to get the best of you? And you have to think about all these factors. It's working is great, but you want to work with purpose.
Of course, without a doubt, I agree with you. Now, speaking of upcoming work, I had two things listed here, and I'm guessing that you're either working on them or done. One of them was From Beyond the Grave.
Yes, yeah, that's kind of like a dark horror, which is really, very excited about. It's going to be, shot in Pennsylvania. And it's going to be like a dark horror.
Okay.
And Devil in Pain is a psychological. It's really excited about this one. It's kind of good versus evil, So I'm playing this detective.
Ooh, nice.
Detective role.
Now,
we
there's Dude, D-U-E. Now, are you working on that, or that's done, or what's the status of that one?
Duo is Duo is I'm playing. It's basically we just got the trailer done, and we're gonna be shooting the full length probably in the next few weeks. We just shot like a 5 or 7 minute trailer, and basically I'm playing a corrupt detective in that one. So that was kind of fun.
Nice, very nice. Now, are there places, if people live in New York City, where they can wander on and about and all of a sudden they're going to come across Thomas because he's going to be in a comedy club making people laugh their ass off, or do you just not go out and do the public stuff? I'm actually, my goal is the next 6 weeks or so, I'd like to do some stand-up. I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I'm going to go to school, so there's nothing in the near future, but my goal, like my dream job obviously would be to, land on Saturday Night Live. That's, skit comedy has always been my thing. I love to interact with other people. Sure, of course. Now, before I do the business side of things here, I want you to tell your listening audience, to people that are entertaining the idea of either playing drums or becoming an actor or doing some of the things that you've done in your lifetime. I want you to just take a moment to, if you could go back to your younger self, what would you tell yourself, or what advice would you give these folks? Because acting can be a very cutthroat business, very competitive. It's tough to get into. It's tough to stay in. Maybe you could give them a heads up on what they're in for, or how they can be successful, period, over the long haul.
Well, I guess for me early on, it was, I wasted a lot of years because, I went down to dark period of my life. So there wasn't 100% dedication. But for me, early, I have to be open-minded. I have to be dedicated. Totally have to be patient, because a lot of actors are not very patient. They submit. They think, okay, well, I submitted a week ago, and here I am, 2 months. I haven't got one role. So patience is a big part of it. And having good people in your life, support network is huge. For me, if I didn't have the support that I had, coming up, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And just no expectations. And I just can't, I'm one. Early on, I was having these expectations, and they weren't getting fulfilled, and it would hurt because I would get disappointed and set me back. So for me, I learned not to have any expectations. And then there's the argument about desperation, and not just, is it good to be desperate? It's desperation to a certain point. If it's a positive desperation, like I don't want to be desperate, like I said, just do everything and anything. And I have to do my own thing. I've learned that this particular year. I've learned the last few months. I'm writing my own stuff. I'm doing my own ideas because just because you're talented and good looking doesn't mean that the roles are going to come knocking on the door. Like, you have to kind of search out. Right. You have to go after what you want. And the drums the drums for me was just something physical. That was just because I love music. I love hearing music. So I did everything: comedy, music, acting. Tried modeling. You have to just experiment with everything, see what works and see what doesn't.
Now, before I forget, we almost want to end before we go onto these important things, which is the business side of stuff that we'll talk about for 2 or 3 minutes. How important is it, do you think, as a person and, of course, as a professional, for people to not only, like you were talking about, have a passion for what they do, but be able to literally keep that fire burning when, and I can imagine, you've been rejected before. Like you've walked in and the casting director is like, I'm not even getting, I'm not going to give him the time of day, blah, blah, blah. You get a lot of rejection. How important is it that you become almost numb to that rejection? You know what I mean? Or is that possible for you? I mean, do you take a hit? I mean, is that hard on the ego?
It's, I am human. So, when I leave an audition and if I don't get it, I mean, of course, there's the first 5 minutes where I'm just beating the crap out of myself. So that to me is kind of normal. Then the second part is, well, what would I do wrong? What would I do right? I go through that phase. I think a lot of creative people do. For me, though, I've learned, and I heard it's a great quote. Every audition that I get to do is a chance for me to act in front of somebody. It's a chance for me to express myself. So every audition is like kind of like I'm treading the water. I'm doing the work. So I've learned now, like I love going to auditions. I really do. And even if I don't get it, but the whole idea is if I gave everything I got and I was true to myself and true to the character and true to what they wanted, then there's nothing else. There's nothing else you can do. It's really
sure.
It just wasn't meant for that particular moment. Like and it's kind of weird because I also learned that even if one thing is out of place, like your ears could be too big or your eyebrows look funny or your forehead is too big. It really, like, any little factor could do. It doesn't mean that you're a bad actor, you have nothing to bring,
sure,
or you're not talented. It's just that particular moment, they're looking for something else. That's it.
Nice attitude. I absolutely love that. That's awesome. Now, we have 2 more things to do. First of all, I'm going to read off this list so that everybody knows the ways to find you. Thomas does have a personal Facebook page, and his last name, of course, is spelled Occhi. He can be found, he's got an IMDb profile. He's also on LinkedIn and also on Vimeo as well. I also suspect you've got work out on YouTube as well. Would that be right? Or you can be found on YouTube? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Now, before, the last thing we do on this show is I always take an opportunity to tell the people that come on my show what I think of them. So you'll get to rest your voice, and I get to tell you what I think of you, which is going to be way awesome. But before I do that, I ask every guest for the last 4 months has been asked the same question. And I know you're not going to let me down. I know you're not going to screw this up. This is like the most important question of the entire interview. Do not mess this up.
Sweating. Oh, my God.
Don't.
I got to sit down and
You know how every reporter and like, for instance, you're an actor. I'm sure that there's a list of people on that list of yours that you say, oh my God, if I could act with this person, I would die a happy man. So I have these top 5 people that I want to interview in the entire universe, besides you, of course. Now you've made my dream come true, and I had a chance to interview you. But besides you, if we took you out of that contention, I have this actor on my list, and I want to interview him, and I've been trying to interview him for over a year now. I'm getting a little frustrated. So I resorted to having to ask people that come on my show, do you know this person? So I know when I ask you, you're going to say, why, yes, Cindy. I have a cell phone number, and I'm going to get you that interview. So you ready? I know you're going to say yes. just say it with me. Okay. So there's this guy. He's done about 200 films. He's been in New York. He's actually worked with friends of ours. You know, this guy by the name of Michael Madsen.
Yes.
I know you got his number, right? Really?
I mean, I don't have his phone number. I mean, you know, I think the guy was worried about me. You know, I was going to prank him, and that's why he didn't give me his phone number.
I'm telling you, man, I'm like, what is it with you actors that's like impossible sometimes to get an interview with some people? I'm like, seriously? He's not God, right? I mean, he's a kick-ass actor. I mean, he's like on my top 5, literally.
Awesome.
Like,
yes, he's a great actor.
I might give up a kidney or something for him. So I just keep begging people, and it's like, it's not, you know, I'm like, this is ridiculous. He's in one place, I can't get to a premiere. Or I talk to a publicist, but they can't get him here. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I said, screw it. This year I'm doing my own film festival, and I am doing my own film festival, and I'll just invite him. And either he shows up or he doesn't show up, right? I mean, right?
Yeah.
He's a little intimidating.
I know.
Scares me a little.
Cindy, I apologize for Michael, okay? Listen, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to be like you.
But you don't have his number, and you can't hook me up either. Damn it.
I did approach the guy first number, and he's like, "Whoa, dude, I didn't give you my number, man." He's like, and he's just kind of like, ripped beer up to this side of the room. I wasn't even drunk yet, you know. But I'm just saying that.
I wasn't even drunk yet.
Yeah, I don't care if I get as big as Swiss cheese. I'm never going to be so big where I can't say, you know what? I'm not going to talk to that person. And that's the ugly side of it. I know there's, you know, security reasons, but that's the ugly side of the business too. I don't.
It is. It is. And I think it's become too hard to get a hold of people. And it's unfortunate because people are guarded by agents and PR people, and it's like, it's insane. So, yeah, it's like it's not a running joke on the show, but it's like, I'll just keep asking. And eventually somebody's going to get me there, or I'm going to show up, or, like I said, I'm having a festival. The only other resort I have is to write him a screenplay, but I don't think I'm going that far, so we'll have to see. So, before I tell you what
Sarah Hannah put a snake in the bag, and you know, always put a snake in the bag and scare the crap out of him, scare him over here, like Kill Bill too.
Yeah, because that won't, like, you know, freak him out or anything. That won't make me look like I'm unstable, I'm sure. We don't need to go to prison in order to get this interview, but okay. Now, before I tell you what I think of you, I will just give you this news, which I think I kind of told you off air, but we'll just let the listening audience know. One of the coolest things about what I do is I get to be surrounded in a realm of people like Thomas because we all know each other in the film festival circuit. Obviously, we're all tied together by actors and things like that. I myself am a longtime author, which will hopefully employ a bunch of you in the acting world. But because I know you have such this exciting thing about wanting to get on SNL, after we did our conversation, I reached out to all my publicists, and so they're going to get me a contact at SNL. So I'm going to ask you to put together a little something, and then you can submit yourself for being considered to do anything on SNL. I don't know necessarily if it's anything big, but at least it's going there. Wow. That's something, right? Maybe.
That's so great.
I don't know.
I'm so honored.
You try to hook up a friend when you can. That's okay, because
that's the support we need. But I'm just, either way, I just want to thank you. You know, now, you know, I'm just very, very honored that, you know, for that. I'm very
and I
grateful
think
for
it's
that.
important. Industry people, and as you said, it's a common link. People have to stick together with one another and work with one another to achieve what they want to. So, folks, let me just tell you what I think of this great man, and he can go on his way, and I'm going to go die on my couch after 2 hours. I have 2 more hours of work, and then I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm sick of being sick.
I don't want to interrupt you. Just be honest. Just be honest, please. It's okay. I mean, you know, you're in Michigan, so just be honest and just say what you have to say. But, you know, but remember, you know, just keep it real, okay?
First of all, I'm in Wisconsin, not Michigan. But that's nice that you thought I was in Michigan. You're a really good journalist. Not. Don't quit your day job, pal.
ADV at its best. That's an example.
We're going to have Thomas stop talking now, and then I'm going to talk. There you go. So these are my impressions, folks, of him. And just so that all of you know, including my guest that's on the show, I never script this part of my show. That means it's not written, it's not thought about. This is completely off the cuff. And the reason that I do this is because not only will you know what I think of you, but the outside listening audience who's never met you or seen your work will hopefully be inspired not only by the interview that we've done, but by my words enough that they trust me and they'll be able to say, I want to know this person for whatever reason. So here it goes. The very first time I heard of this guy, and I call him this guy, because it was through a mutual friend, actually. I think it was either Bill Servino or somebody else. I forget. Anyways, anytime I always meet a friend of a friend, I always try to go on their Facebook right away, and I start creeping. I don't say anything right away. I just start creeping to take a look. And one of the things that immediately drew me to this man on the other end of the phone was just the fact that he can be so comically charismatic, is what I call it. He has such a flair, it almost makes you wonder if he's hiding something all the time, like he is being funny constantly because he's trying to keep something to himself. And I've been so intrigued to try to figure out who this guy is and how much substance there is. Luckily for me, I've had enough time and enough research, and not just because I had him on my show, but just to watch him and to talk to other people about him. Now, this is what other people have said about this fine young man, and let me repeat it. He is a pure and honest man with a very high level of integrity, a true entertainer who is both well-spoken and pleasant to work with. That's what your coworkers think of you. That is something that they didn't need to tell me before I spoke to you. I can tell in the way that you shake a person's hand. I can tell by the way that you carry yourself, both on a camera and when you're trying to either impress somebody or intimidate somebody or make them laugh or make them smile. You make it a point to make people happy because you don't have to. That I like. You like making yourself in front of the camera as well as off of the camera, somebody that you want to have. You want other people watching you. You want other people paying attention to you, and not for the wrong reason, but for the right reason. You have something to offer. You have something to lend. You have something to teach them, and you have something that nobody else that I have seen in quite some time has. And what that is the passion light's on 24/7, never turns off. From what I can see, constantly passionate about everything. His friends, his fiance, his house, his ice cream, his lines, his movies, his everything. Everything about this man resonates passion and intelligence and a set of integrity and morals and values. And in this industry, only 50% is left with that. The reason why you should get to know this man and his work and to watch him as he envelops into the character actor he's going to become is not just because I tell you to, but because you'll be missing out on something purposeful and wonderful if you don't get to know him. He's a gentleman of the best kind, and I cannot wait to come to New York City to meet him. And I'm so lucky that if I had to be sick, that I had to talk to you for an hour, because you're just a wonderful guy. That's it.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Oh, that's so great. I mean, I'm like speechless, man. Really, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much.
Why does everybody do that? They're all speechless whenever I do that. I'm like, don't people ever be nice to you? Because that's keeping it real.
I gotta go home. I gotta go eat some chocolate. I'm getting all emotional now. I'm hungry, emotional. I'm gonna walk in the kitchen, see what Jenny has left.
Oh, my God. She should hide everything from you. You're going to end up being 800 pounds, and then no one will hire you, so stop it.
Nice. Okay.
Wonderful.
I got this truck. Wow. Okay. I found one.
See, now, can you believe, listeners, that he actually said to me, he asked me why I picked him. Maybe now that you've listened to him for an hour, you understand why it is that I picked him. He is an actor, but he's not an actor like any other. And you should remember that. And do know that you have an open door. Whenever you want to come back and promote something, please do. If you get something put together and you want to put it in my festival, please do. If you want to hang out, please do. It's all please do. Yes, yes, yes. That's it.
Thank you so much.
We're all done.
It's been an honor.
This has been awesome.
Honor and pleasure, Cindy. Really, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for everybody and all the support. And thank you so much, Cindy. Really, I'm very, unworthy, but I'm grateful.
It's been awesome. Oh, stop. You go and enjoy and have a wonderful evening. And in about 2 hours or so, I'll send you the link. You could post it up. People go back and listen to it, of course. And, and definitely stay in touch. I'll let you know when I come to New York and we can hang out.
That sounds great, okay? Definitely.
Awesome.
We'll definitely take care.
All right.
Jenny,
good. And please send my love to Jenny, too.
Thank you so much.
Sounds great. All right, dear. Have a good night.
God bless, Cindy. Good night. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Tell me that he was not absolutely amazing. Thomas, and again, the spelling of the last name, I want to say it's Occhi, and I'm so sorry, Thomas, if I got it wrong. Occhi. He is a actor. He's the actor. I'm all right. He has a profile on IMDb. Once again, LinkedIn. He can be found on Vimeo and YouTube. Facebook personal page. Once again, it's Thomas, Occhi. Thank you so very much to Thomas. Thank you to Christopher. Thank you to Samuel. Thank you to Jenny. Thank you to all the outside people that surround Thomas that gave me such wonderful words to say to him. And, of course, to Tom himself, thanks so much for taking the hour's time to come with me. One more time, I want to remind everybody tomorrow, Jack O'Halloran 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. As I mentioned, of course, you may remember him from Superman, but his body of work, both in terms of writing and in terms of on the screen and stage and TV, is phenomenal. So I'm very, very excited and very privileged to be interviewing him tomorrow. And thanks so much to Steve Joyner for the tips up on that one, and Lisa and all the wonderful clients that you send my way. All right, folks, I'm not feeling too terrific. Cross your fingers and hope like hell that I don't end up in an emergency room or otherwise. This thing has been lasting almost 3 days. So thanks so much for being patient while I feel so yucky, and I'm going to try to rest it off one more night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last show of the week. Thanks.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.